JB here, JB here. Hope everyone is doing outstanding. Monday, February 9th. Hang on a second. 3:33. Really quick rant here. Don't have much to talk about. Talk about the market. Some names I'm looking at go from there. S&P up about 0.5% here. Nasdaq up 0.75%. The Dow is somewhat flat today, despite some rallies in some of the Dow components. But kind of a lackluster day. And considering what happened last week, maybe that's a good thing, right? Some of the names rallying today. The software space. You see Palantir's up. Uh, Roblox up another 11% on the heels of its earnings. Oracle's up 9%. Frog, one of my top five stocks for this year, getting back some of the losses this year. So interesting session, but it seems like a yawn fest since the noon hour, at least for the names I'm watching. SPY got up to 694 about noon, and then just been chopping around ever since. We have CPI data at the end of the week. We have a January jobs report on Wednesday, and then we have some earnings report. Outside of that, it's probably going to be more of this, more I guess sideways action. Uh, at times in the morning, I thought 670 on 700 on the SPY was coming. Maybe it'll be Tuesday or Wednesday, right? Maybe it'll be tomorrow, Wednesday. I joked this morning, Goldman Spectacular out with their warning that stocks are going to sell this week, right? Here it is. So now if they do sell, for their warning to be accurate, they have to sell off at least 0.5% just to get rid of the gains ready for the week. And we're pulling back here into the afternoon. We'll see. 25 minutes left in the day. We could get a little pull here into the close, but hopefully nothing annoying enough. I hate the last 5-10 minute fades that kill premiums are the most frustrating. But nothing much to talk about here in regards to the overall market. 696, excuse me, 693 on the SPY. We're over that. We'll see if we get back down there, that holds. Upper Bollinger Band 700.69. So if we do get over that 700 threshold, that'll be watching. All right, that's quick on the market. Just quick on individual names. Align continued its rally post earnings, smash up another 3% today. Slow and steady actually is up 2.8% as I speak here. 192.91. The hardest part of any option trade is the hold, right? I always talk about the hold. Got those 195s for 40 cents, and now they're great. We're up, but sold some for 100% to cover costs and 200%. Then just earlier, sold a few more. I actually had them on the ask at $2, and they pulled the bid out. It was like 5 cents by $2 spread, and then I got filled. But so sold some more $2 from 40 cents, and I'll just hold the last couple. The hardest part's to hold. You're already up a couple 100%. Um, Great. Most people would say you're insane for holding, but the big gains happen the 1,000% to 2,000%. So when I look at a line, I think it's going to $200 for the gap fill. So if that happens, calls will be $5.50, $6, depending on when it happens. If it happens by Wednesday, I have to think they're $6. So that's kind of the thought process there. I talked about adding some more strikes. Funny enough, I'm looking at the calls, and even next week strikes on the line are inexpensive. You look at the 210s for next week, the 25 by 60, get an offer in at 35, a limit in there. I'm not going to do that just yet, but if I do tomorrow, if we do have some follow through, might look for some more strikes there. I talked about the fundamentals this morning. Just a crazy story, right? $1 billion in cash on hand, $13 billion market cap. So you take some of that valuation there, just makes it attractive just on that aspect. And then they're doing a stock buyback, which in the past, they do these accelerated stock buyback programs. They might announce one. Usually they do it post earnings, so it might happen in the next couple of days. They do that. That might be good for another 2-3% at the open. So yeah, like this one. So obviously, I'll continue to hold that. So happy to have that trade. And then okay, that's that. The other one I'm looking at here all day too is Enphase. I keep looking to get calls at the end of last week, and then every time it drops, I'm like, oh, good thing I didn't get the calls, and then it bounces. And then similar thing today. I was looking to get calls at the open, and boom, dropped all the way down under 48 by 11 o'clock, and then that's been it. It's been up and to the right ever since. Broke over $50 just a little while after the 3 o'clock hour. I'll probably wait again until tomorrow. One of these dips and bounces will actually hold, so there won't be another dip again. And when that happens, it's gonna be off to the races. I think it's headed over $60. With that being said, the stepbrother would be Solar Edge. I keep looking at that one. That's up 2% today. Funny enough, you look at First Solar was red yesterday, Friday as well. So I don't know if there's any news related stuff going on in the sector. But another name, obviously, I'm going to look to get some strikes in. But it's tough. If I tried to trade Solar Edge or Enphase the last 2 days after the earnings, I'd be probably down on the positions because of the premiums. Just it's not doing it. It's going sideways. So maybe I'll get another opportunity tomorrow. Other names I'm looking at, right? So why don't I have this up here? Oh, last but not least, Serve Robotics, right? Frustrating. Premiums are just, it's like a faucet, right? Or maybe a little leak in a balloon. It's like the air is just coming out of the premiums on Serve. Frustrating because it's up 2.5%, and last week calls, when next week calls are red. But some of that, I guess, is the implied volatility. The premiums are already expensive to begin with, I guess, baked with the previous moves, historically speaking. So, frustrating. But I still think it's headed into one of those multi-day rallies. So maybe the start of it's tomorrow. It was looking like it was going to break out. I think it was 11:30. There was like a candle, fat finger, all the way up to 11:36, and that was the top. So other names, I keep I talked about Roblox earlier. Roblox, App 11. Take a look at App 11 today. One of those folks who come out with those hit pieces, they retracted some of their statements, and I think they call them like some kind of fraudulent behavior in regards to some of the financial schematics of what they're doing. I don't know what it was. I don't even know if that exactly why it's up 13%. I don't think it takes much for the stock to go anyway. The frustrating thing with App 11, they report earnings this week, so tough to trade that one. Same with Shopify, right? Frustrating. I'm watching Shopify all last week, or at least at the end of the week. I'm like, how is this thing selling off with the rest of the software names? And then waiting for a bounce. Look, I was looking at the 120s, then the 119s on Friday, then the 118s. Thankfully, I didn't pull the trigger, but here it is up 6% today. So frustrating. Frustrating with Shopify because they report earnings Wednesday. So that's tough to trade as well. So I think that's it, folks. Not much else to talk about. Mondays, when we have kind of like an afternoon like we've had today, where it's the start of a week and the market's kind of flatlined since the noon hour, makes it frustrating if you're in some positions because then it's just watching the premiums, just erode. Not a fun thing. So hopefully there'll be some opportunities tomorrow and some directions, or at least directional moves on some of the names I'm in. All right, GameStop. That's the other one, right? The other frustrating one today. Gosh, it looked like, okay, all systems go last week, and here it is, right at the open was 20, almost 25, and then boom, 10 o'clock, all the way back down to 24.20. One of these days, this one takes off and doesn't look back. All right, that's it, folks. Have a great afternoon. Rock and roll.